Good day and welcome to ACM's Microsoft Project How-To Training, where you will learn to establish a critical path in all versions of the software Microsoft Project. It is important to note the out-of-the-box settings in Microsoft Project do not show or calculate a critical path. The critical path method, also known by its acronym as CPM, is considered one of the most effective ways to manage any type of project. This training's goal is to show a Microsoft Project user how to change the application settings and show a critical path on a CPM schedule. What does CPM scheduling provide that is so special? The critical path. What is unique about the critical path? When set up properly, it will show the amount of slack that each activity in a project has. What is slack? Slack is the amount of time an activity can slip without delaying the project's completion date. If an activity has 0 days slack, that activity cannot slip at all. Any slippage will delay the project's finish date. CPM terms have historically called this term float. Microsoft Project calls this term slack instead of float. It is not exactly known why Microsoft Project refers to a standard accepted scheduling term as something different, but it could be likely as to not infringe on any potential trademarks in others' applications. The words slack and float are interchangeable. That is, if you use Microsoft Project as your scheduling tool. However, Oracle P6 users will not call float slack. Float or slack is the amount of time an activity can slip without impacting the finish of a project. Activities with higher slack can slip and not delay the project's overall finish, whereas when 0 slack activities slip, there is a resulting delay in the overall project finish. If an activity or string of activities has a negative slack number, say negative 20 days, that means that the project will be 20 working days late, almost a full month. In every single version of Microsoft Project that I've installed and opened, the out-of-the-box settings force all tasks as manually scheduled. Manually scheduled tasks do not provide, show, or calculate a critical path. It is important to change that out-of-the-box setting so that all tasks are auto-scheduled. In order to fix the out-of-the-box settings for task types from manually scheduled to auto-scheduled, open up the Project Options under the File menu command. Your screen will show the dialog box, Project Options. Click on the Schedule option. Under Scheduling Options for this project, change to All Projects. Click on the drop-down box for New Task Created. Change from manually scheduled to auto-scheduled. The default task type should be fixed duration instead of its alternates, fixed work and fixed hours. If you assign resources to a task and you assign an electrician to a 40-hour task, then you learn, for safety reasons, electricians usually work in pairs. Assigning 2 electricians to a 40-hour task will shorten the task to 20 hours, 2.5 days instead of 5 days. For typical scheduling, one does not want the program to flex like an accordion, expand or shorten based on adjustment to resources. It's difficult enough getting one master electrician foreman to tell you how long it takes to install that emergency standby generator switchgear. Now, let him or her bring a journeyman and an apprentice one day, then the next 3 days have the journeyman and apprentice work the job while he kicks off another work order project somewhere else. Under the Default Tasks tab, type Fixed Units as the setting. Change that setting to Fixed Duration. ACM has on its website a MSProject Quick Start guide. It documents and explains the out-of-the-box settings that must be changed in MSProject for the scheduling tool to have a critical path and show slack. Shown here are the out-of-the-box settings that need to change. First, show assignment units as a decimal. It's much more realistic to talk about 7.5 carpenters rather than 750% carpenters. Next, scheduling options for this project, all new projects. New tasks are auto-scheduled. Default task type should be at fixed duration. This was previously mentioned. It's also helpful to click on the toggle box, Auto link inserted or moved tasks, keeping in place established logic. Toggle on Tasks will always honor their constraint dates. Please note, it's advisable to minimize the use of constraints. They should only be used for special circumstances. It is not advisable to have all new tasks with estimated durations. There are exceptions. Perhaps one is commissioning a new piece of equipment. A project schedule may have a few selected tasks with estimated durations. Be certain to click off the toggle that new scheduled tasks have estimated durations for all tasks by default. As one closes that dialog box, then opens the Advanced option. Notice the highlighted calculation options for all new projects. Be sure to toggle these settings below. Move end of completed parts after status date back to status date, and move start of remaining parts back to status date. Move start of remaining parts before status date forward to status date, and move end of completed parts forward to status date. Edits to total task percent complete will be spread to the status date, and calculate multiple critical paths. Also, click that toggle on. Lastly, one should then show a critical path in the Gantt chart. To a neophyte Microsoft project user, critical path information is not easily shown. It is recommended that one run the Gantt chart wizard. On the File Command menu, in the Tell me what you want to do dialog box, type in Gantt chart wizard. This will give you the option to run the wizard. Notice that my program has this wizard permanently affixed to the Quick Start file menu. Let me show you how to do this. Under File, click on Project Options to bring the Options dialog box. Click on the Quick Access toolbar you'll see here towards the left on your visual. Under Choose Commands From, click on All Commands. Next, scroll down under these options to Gantt Chart Wizard. Finally, to add the wizard to your Quick Access toolbar, simply click the Add button as shown on your screen. Now you will have easily and readily available the Gantt chart wizard. This will allow you to quickly add a critical path to any file you have open. When you run the wizard, choose Critical Path as the option, and the program will show a CPM in the Gantt bar chart portion of your schedule. There are other helpful settings, such as data table entry changes, filter options, and views that can be manipulated easily for Microsoft Project to become a very valuable management tool. Hopefully, the last 15 slides help you to easily fix Microsoft Project to show the most invaluable tool, that is, a critical path, for the effective prioritization of workload, keeping the team focused on tasks that, if slipped, will delay the whole project. Thank you for watching. This concludes ACM's out-of-the-box setting changes that must be accomplished for Microsoft Project to show a critical path. Please visit ACM's homepage, acmpm.com, for more useful training manuals, guides, and instructional videos, including but not limited to ACM's Lunch and Learns dealing with project management. ACM's vision is to be your first choice for project management. ACM's mission is to provide the most timely and cost-effective solutions to clients' project management concerns. ACM is the first AACE-approved education provider. ACM is a PMI-registered global education provider. Our training, if attended, counts for continuing education and professional development. Again, thank you for watching and thank you for your time.